My name is Phu Styles. I'm with Women in Blockchain Foundation. I'm also a financial inclusion advocate. And today we will be talking about the future of financial inclusion and how decentralized finance will impact this. And with me today is Alex Witt, the CFO of CELO Labs. Alex, please introduce yourself. Say hello to everybody. Hey!
Hey everybody, it's great to be here. Yeah, looking forward to sharing some of what we're working on.
Wonderful. So just in case people are new today or haven't been paying attention all week, and also because we want to share this footage to people who are new to the space, could you please tell us what DeFi or decentralized finance is?
Sure. Yeah, decentralized finance is basically taking everything in the traditional world and open sourcing it, putting it on a blockchain, and making it accessible to anyone around the world. So to me, the promise or the dream of DeFi is really around financial accessibility.
Right. So, which is really important because as I have spoken many, many times, there are nearly 2 billion people who are underserved, underbanked, or unbanked at all. So it's really exciting to hear, and we're going to hear about what Alex and CELO Labs and CELO is working on to make a difference for these unbanked and underbanked people. So could you please tell us about what you're doing, what CELO is?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you mentioned, there's almost 2 billion people without bank accounts or without basic kind of financial infrastructure access. And many of those, by some estimates, up to 2/3 have a mobile phone. So, the genesis of kind of the CELO ecosystem and protocol and ethos was, how do we solve or bridge that gap? And with blockchain plus mobile phones, we can really deliver financial services or create the foundation for financial services and deliver them to anyone with a mobile phone. So CELO basically is a fork off of Ethereum, customized for the mobile DeFi use case. Happy to go into kind of like where we excel, but as kind of a couple examples, we map the public key addresses to phone numbers so that you just need to know your friend's phone number and you can send them money instead of figuring out public-private key cryptography. And you can send stable coins and pay the fees in the native stablecoin. So those are a couple examples of how we're trying to make it more accessible, lower the barrier to entry, and yeah, start to realize that dream of borderless financial inclusion.
Wonderful. Yeah, so for anyone who's traveled to any developing countries, I've done a lot of that myself working in developing countries. Most people don't, in villages, they might not have much, but most of them do have a cell phone, an SMS phone. So being able to send somebody money through just the phone number is an amazing, amazing use case. So that's amazing. Do you have any specific applications or things that you can share with us that are available now?
Absolutely. So there's over 500 projects that are building on top of the CELO platform. One that you can use immediately is Valora. So if you go to the Google apps, the Google Play Store or the App Store, you can download Valora. And Valora basically allows you to send money around the world just knowing your friend's mobile phone number. So it'll map with your address book, and you can send them kind of money. It's basically like Cash App for the world, or basically WhatsApp for money, and it's without the border restrictions. So and it enables you to send stable coins directly. So one of the disadvantages of Bitcoin is that there's a lack of purchasing power stability, and it's great as a speculative asset and kind of store of long-term value, but for short-term purchasing power, not as great. So this application basically allows you to send the native stable coins to anyone around the world with just their just knowing your friend's phone number, We put this to work recently with a pilot with the Grameen Foundation for the Grameen Foundation.
Where is that?
Sorry, it's a nonprofit foundation, but the pilot was actually in the Philippines. So basically, remittances were sent from around the world to people who are adversely impacted by COVID, and they could reach the individual directly for a fraction of a penny. So you can effectively send dollars cross-border for a fraction of a penny within the 5-second block time, which really kind of opens the door up to not depending on expensive intermediaries and making sure that the money gets to its intended final destination. So I think Valora would be one kind of prime example, but happy to go into others.
How do you spell Valora?
VALORA.
Okay, great. Valora app on the Google or the Play Store. Okay, great. Thank you. So just having worked in developing countries and trying to solve this financial inclusion problem, I see that a lot of the impact is on women. Most of the unbanked people in the world are women. Women don't have access to financial instruments. In some countries, they can't. They have to use their husband's name because they don't have the rights to a certain check account or things like that. So I think having a Valora app just gives so much power to people.
Empowering.
These women. And for me, I'm about empowering women, because when you empower women, you empower entire community. So this is so great. So this is why I'm very, very passionate about DeFi and blockchain and what we're doing. So it's pretty cool. So yeah.
I'm so excited. I mean, it's, I'm sorry if I may have cut you off a little bit. I'm terribly excited. I mean, it's one of the most amazing things about crypto is it doesn't matter who you are, what's your background, everyone's treated the same. You could be yellow, green, black, white, brown, whatever it is. You're all, it's all the same in the protocol, and they don't judge you on gender or race or religion or any of that. And so in my mind, it's like a great leveler in the sense that DeFi also has the potential, although it's not mentioned nearly enough, to create a more meritocratic and accessible system, regardless of what your background might be.
I completely agree. That's literally why when I crashed my first blockchain conference, I was like, this is the future, and yeah, still here. So can you tell us a little bit more about CELO Labs? So I understand that Valora was built on the CELO network, but what is CELO Labs doing? Because that's the company that you specifically work for, right?
Yes. So CELO Labs was a core developer for the CELO protocol, and remains a core contributor. Over time, CELO Labs will be one node amongst many nodes in this broader ecosystem. At the very genesis, though, it was kind of one of the core contributors, kind of enabling the launch of mainnet of the protocol. But as we grow and as it becomes a decentralized distributed ecosystem, increasingly, you have a huge number of people who are building on top of this permissionless open infrastructure.
Exciting. We don't have that much time left, but with the time that we do have, what are you excited about that CELO is doing, or the programs and all the projects that are being built on top? Tell us anything exciting that you could tell.
Yeah. So I'm very excited about interoperability, and I'll tell you why. I think
actually, so just for those who are newbies, can you explain what interoperability is?
Yes. So cross-blockchain or blockchain interoperability is basically the ability for blockchains to talk to each other and transfer value and communicate between them. Right now, blockchains are like isolated islands, and interoperability helps build bridges between those isolated islands. So at the moment, one of the problems is, that you have these kind of fiefdoms or kingdoms, and assets are kind of hoarded there. But if you have a nice bridge to another protocol, let's say Ethereum to another protocol, and that other protocol has inherent advantages and is cheaper, then you can really create more accessibility for DeFi access. Because one of the problems right now is most of the DeFi applications are on Ethereum, but Ethereum gas fees are extremely high. So a lot of transactions can be hundreds of dollars. And so some people are referring to Ethereum as Wall Street chain now, because you kind of have to have like, you're at least playing with, 5 figures and higher to make it worthwhile to do some of these, lending and other DeFi transactions. So with CELO, for example, it's completely EVM compatible. So you can use MetaMask, for example. And we have an upcoming launch of Optics, which will basically enable CELO to talk to all of their kind of mainstream blockchains. So like Polkadot, Cosmos, etc. So that'll basically kind of connect those disparate isolated islands and allow value to transfer across protocols, which will mean that people can more easily access the blockchain that is best for their needs. And in the case of CELO, it makes it more accessible for users to basically enjoy just knowing the person's phone number, transacting cheaply for a fraction of a penny, not needing to know like what's gas fees and why do I need this other currency, and and a host of other kind of advantages. And so I think interoperability will be kind of the key to broader adoption at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a big problem we've been dealing with for a long time now. So I'm excited to see that happen. So, well, we're running low on time now. And so I'd just like to say thank you for being with us here today at the DeFi Summit. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, how would they do that?
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. And yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Alex L. Witt. And you can find out more about the CELO ecosystem at CELO.org, CELO.org.
All right, wonderful. And everyone can find me at Phu Styles, Phustyles, on all the socials, LinkedIn, Telegram, and all the things. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.